Draft Bastards.
Welcome to Draft Bastards, a podcast that features four brothers consuming and reviewing craft and microbrews in the New England area, all while discussing the topic of the day. This episode, the suds of choice come from Batson River Brewing out of Kennebunk, Maine, and will join us as we ramble about Warner Brothers' latest cinematic casualty, Godzilla vs. Kong. Let's get ready to bumble. It's time for the show. Get it on! Buenos dias, bonjour, guten tag, and konnichiwa. Welcome to episode 9 of Draft Bastards. My name is Jay O'Neill, and I'll be your moderator. With me again are my bro hosts. I got Mikey.
Hello.
I got Baru.
Hello there.
And I got Kev.
What up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How you doing, bro?
Good.
It's been a while.
Yeah. I'm happy we'll be drinking some beer today,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to talk about some monster MMA. Kev made a trip up to Kennebunk.
Sure did.
To Batson River Brewing for this episode. So, Kev, tell us a little bit about this place.
Hey, about Batson River Brewing. First off, that was a drive.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad. No, it's like an hour 10.
Well, it's pretty bad that, you know, your secondary objective was
Yeah. So
Can we talk about that really quick?
shut down.
We can talk about this really quick.
Go ahead.
So I had
They
I had a
deserve
secret-
whatever we're about to say.
I had an
Well done.
ulterior motive to check out this brewery, in that a brisk 6 minute walk away was a little place called Mekong Thai food
Yeah,
that these three assholes have been talking up for 20 years
Best.
and have never once brought me some pad thai.
Best.
That's true.
Not once.
Not for nothing, I don't think I've been there in 20 years.
They've even brought it home, brought extra, and only told me about it after they ate the leftovers.
Hey, fuck you, guy.
Yeah, you want some
So,
of this? Get your own. It's up the road.
So I was very excited to try some beers and throw some pad thai on top of it, only to find out that they closed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but you called them before quarter of because your message came in at quarter of. So you were already pissed off at it
Yeah.
by 7:45.
Yes.
Mekong, that's a shitty business model. Someone calls you at quarter of, you make the man some pad thai, for Christ's sakes. Fire up that grill, get her done.
Considering I was one of maybe 20 people in the entire town of Kennebunk.
Oh, my
I thought maybe.
God.
Anyways,
Yep. And then his other mission.
was to get Mikey some beer that he wanted, and that place closed at 6.
Oh,
Yep.
some Bissell Brothers.
Get some Bissell Brothers. All I want is substance.
Hey, all I wanted was some pad thai. So you know what? Neither of us got what we wanted.
Well, what did you get?
Well, I'm glad you didn't fail at getting the beer at least.
Well, at least I got the beer.
All right.
So
I'm
we're
just kidding,
gonna
that sucks.
start this round off with a Pilsner called Pearl Street.
I love Pilsners.
So what was this place like? What was the vibe?
Vibe was very seaside.
Oh, original.
Yeah, right. Had outdoor seating. They had these neat little ice fishing sheds where you could call in advance and reserve a spot and
Oh, that's cool.
eat outside in the dead of winter because they're heated.
All right.
So I thought that was a nice little touch.
Sure.
Cool thing about Batson River Brewing as well. Dogs are allowed
Love it.
on and inside. You just can't bring them in the ice sheds.
Okay.
And I asked them about the whole dog logo. That is the centerpiece of their design. And part of it is they make huge donations to the Animal Welfare Society in Kennebunk, Maine.
I
It's a
love that.
no-kill shelter
No, that's cool.
that tries to find a home for everything that's brought in.
All right.
Good on
All
them.
They love dogs.
Good on
Can
them.
they make beer?
The caveman inside me hates the description on this can.
What is it?
But just because I said that, I'm sure it's going to be delicious. Dried flowers, light body, mildly bitter, complex yeast, influence malt finish. Like just, I read that, I want to throw it over my shoulder, but I'm going to drink it anyway.
Yeah. No, flowers are good.
Ready? Boys?
I'm kidding. I say it in jest.
All right.
Settle down.
Smells
I'm
malty.
I'm the rude guy. These guys are nice.
This is a Pilsner, you said?
Yes, sir.
It does smell malty.
It's been a minute since we had a Pilsner.
Clear,
Pilsner.
light. Smells like it's going to be a sweet one. See those flowers.
Smells like Michelob.
Okay. I see the bitterness.
Mhm.
It is malty.
I was going to say, I wouldn't call that a malt finish. I would say that's a malt forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and remember, I was like, it's probably going to be incredible once I shit talk it, and it actually is. It's very good.
Good job, Brew.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's pretty yummy.
Never judge a beer by its can.
I'm getting the flowers now.
That's funny. On the second tip, I was like, oh, that's dandelions.
Oh, interesting.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's quite good.
All right.
It's not as
Yep.
light. It's not actually as light as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's by
No.
no means heavy, but for a Pilsner, it's got some actually pretty good body on it.
Crisp and solid.
It's a beer. Yeah, no, it's good.
Probably the maltiest Pilsner I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But given some of the stuff we've been drinking, I am open to new things and creative recipes. Yeah, this is good.
Doing this show has made me more open because we sit
Yeah.
here and we just kind of, we drink whatever one of us buys and
I've
just kind of jump in, But it's
Yeah.
awesome because most of it's been really good. I would say 80-90% of all the beers we've tried have been good. There's only been like one or two we're like,
Yeah.
And we were probably super hungover.
yeah, and they were probably sours.
or drunk by the time
Sours
I got
aren't
to
for
it.
everybody.
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
Thank you. There it is. Jesus. Wait for you to say it.
Jeez, I don't mean to hold you up, but what the hell's going on around here? I know it's cloudy out, but Jesus, let's get this thing going.
All right.
Well, we all had to rewatch Godzilla versus Kong.
We
Chris.
sure did.
I tried. That
Did you
movie's
complete it?
That movie's been on in my house twice, and I feel like I've seen all I needed to see, but I really haven't watched it.
I on my rewatch this morning, I fast forward through a lot of the inconsequential human plot.
Hey,
Spoilers ahead.
Oh,
Hey, I did that the first time I watched it.
yeah.
Well, hey. So really quick. I like monster movies. I'm assuming these guys like monster movies, but
Of course.
Kev is actually a Godzilla connoisseur. All right.
Freakishly.
Freakishly.
But
Okay. So-
apparent,
Are you a
Apparently from the
Godzilla
50s.
connoisseur, or did you just fall in love with the 1954 movie and just have had like a vindictive hate mission against every Godzilla movie that's come out since?
That is eerily accurate.
I know.
that's not inaccurate.
Yeah,
I've-
there
I've,
basically has not been one good Godzilla movie that's come out.
Well, here's the thing. That first Godzilla movie, that was a serious movie. And after that, I mean, remember all the stuff in the 70s and 80s that they made?
I
And it
love
was like,
that shit. Channel 56.
those are the people that love those. That's who this movie is for.
That's the crowd they're aiming.
They're looking for Godzilla doing kung fu.
Yeah.
Or Mechagodzilla doing a rocket boost assisted Superman punch.
Visually stunning.
Sure.
I love the fight scenes.
After rewatching again, I was hard on it. I didn't like it. I texted you guys. I'm like, this is a steaming pile of crap.
Yeah.
I watched it again with lowered expectations, and I'm like, this is really great CGI. It really was fantastic
It's
CGI.
Great CGI.
I was at first upset that they pushed so much character development onto the monsters, because I was always of the mind like the monsters don't care about the people on the ground. They're doing their thing, and
Right.
humans
Yeah.
mean less than nothing to them.
Yeah.
I kind of liked King Kong by the end of the movie.
This movie did not sell me on anything. I still think it's a steamy pile of crap.
Thank you.
I gave it a 0.5 out of 5 crushed beer cans just because it's a movie.
So listen, if you're looking for a movie with big monsters and big fights and big fucking robots,
I don't know. I like
This is your
Skull
movie.
Island because they kind of tied everything together, and the movie had its own kind of attitude and better CGI, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I'm a very good judge of that. I could be completely wrong. Maybe my eyes just liked it better, but I didn't think even the CGI in this GVK movie was very good either. It was too bright and just too computery.
It was trying way too hard to look like Pacific Rim.
sure
Like down to the
Which-
point of matching like the color schemes that movies tend to lean towards depending on the genre or the time period.
you know, the real reason that Kevin is so angry at this movie is because the Ghidorah skull that they used, it was Kevin.
It was Kevin's skull.
It was Kevin's skull.
Oh.
Remember Kevin, the kind of
The ice licker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was really, it wasn't Mecha Godzilla, it was Mecha Kevin. the revenge of Mecha Kevin.
So Ghidorah had 3 heads.
Yes.
and there was one that was just kind of a
Little
dumb
goofy.
head,
Oh, really?
a goofy head.
Has this
And,
always been the case?
Yeah.
yeah.
And the internet dubbed him Kevin.
the meme is that one of Ghidorah's heads is Kevin.
Amazing.
The heads' names were Itch, Knee, and Kevin.
Amazing. Wow.
So,
Oh my God, that's so incredible. No
Yeah.
wonder you're so upset.
Well, that's why I was upset at the last movie.
Oh man.
well, now you have a new reason to be upset at this movie.
That
Like a
is
Kevin.
amazing. Oh, that's so funny.
They clearly picked the more docile of the three heads and said,
It was
"We'll
the
have
only
a
one they
better
had left.
control."
The rest of them got obliterated because in the previous one, I believe Kevin's head was cut off
It was, and then it grew back.
and then it grew back. But the one that fell on the ground, that's probably the one that they used because all the other heads got incinerated.
But at the end of the last movie, they showed, what's his face, Tywin, Charles Dance,
Mhm.
purchasing the recovered head
Yeah.
of
That was the
Ghidorah.
initial one that got cut off.
That was
so
the one that got ripped off.
in essence, that Mecha Godzilla suit is actually technically haunted by the
Kevin.
ghost of Ghidorah, Kevin. Yeah.
So that's what they
So
were
you're-
going for, how the thing took over at the end.
As soon as it received the power
emailed
it needed,
power signature?
yeah, something.
Interesting.
I don't know. I
Because they
thought
were
it
able
was
to
really.
email a power source in that movie.
I think it was like more like emailing a formula.
thing that gets me with this movie especially was I understand you need suspension of disbelief
Yes.
with these monster movies.
Yeah.
Suspension of disbelief still has to make sense within the context of the universe that we're looking at. And when you start a Godzilla versus Kong fight underwater in the middle of the ocean, that fight should immediately be over. That should have been the end of the movie right there.
And he was drugged.
And he was drugged and he was chained somehow. They didn't
I
show
like the
that
scene where they had him jump onto the battleship. He went from his freight carrier and he jumped over to the battleship to protect all the people on his carrier because he saw Godzilla was coming back.
Hmm.
When he's standing
Completely
on the, when he's
obliterated
standing
the
on
ship
the
in the
air
middle.
carrier or battleship, whatever it was, he looked like he was on a paddleboard.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla got up and they were both fighting on a fucking paddleboard.
That
Oh
boat
my
was
God.
suddenly really durable.
Yep.
I hate everything you guys are saying right now.
You gotta
He's
turn.
drowning King Kong. What do we do? Depth charges. Those work, right?
Yeah.
No. But apparently they do in this scene.
Nothing in this movie works. I think I might have noticed the underwater scene and the Kong being chained on the ship. I mean, I was doing other stuff when I had this movie on, and like, I had no emotional reaction to it. I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense at all in any way. And there's nothing going on with the human cast or
Millie
the rest of
Bobby
the movie to
Brown's
make it like interesting.
Millie Bobby Brown's crew, what impact did they have?
That was
No idea.
that was for
They-
people to go, oh my God, it's Billy Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
They
it.
did nothing.
They really didn't. They dumped the alcohol or whatever, the liquid
That
on
was,
the machine at the end. They probably helped Kong and Godzilla out by about 1 or 2 seconds. They
That's
just got they
all
basically got
Godzilla
Mecha
needs.
Godzilla to crash for a second and kind of stutter. So it just bought them an extra couple of seconds, which did probably
Makes
not
no
have
sense.
It's
effect.
the kind of technology that they are having in this movie, as opposed to the grounded real world technology they had in that 2014 movie, which I'd love to get into if we get there. The kind of technology they have in here, the containment facility, giant shackles just for Kong that can apparently hold him. Godzilla shouldn't be a threat to these people. It seems like their technology has advanced to the point where they can handle something like Godzilla.
Again,
Because that's one thing I've come to understand is that the concept of Godzilla being a problem only works if you're displaying it in a time setting where the weapons aren't quite there yet.
you need to turn off your brain and enjoy this for the unapologetic monster smash city movie that it is.
I don't
You know,
know.
So
It's-
what was
I
the
don't,
actual
though.
plot?
I feel like the issue is that you opened up this cork, all right? This is happening.
The plot, Jay, was when they were making the Mecha Godzilla, they basically reactivated Ghidorah.
That was
Yes.
a super evil man with his sipping scotch.
Yep.
Yes.
And Serizawa's son.
Evilly making a means to defend themselves against giant monsters.
They were
What
trying
an
to take
evil
back the planet
bastard.
from the Titans instead of like, okay, it's our turn. Like it's
And they,
time for
like-
people to be in charge of the planet, not Titans.
They made him as
I caught that.
hilariously evil as they could. It's
Yeah.
like, but
still-
what he's doing makes total sense.
Ineffectual. They had absolutely no security.
None whatsoever. The entire this movie would not have worked if even a shred of competent security was in place.
There was just a Scooby-Doo crew going around.
Scooby-Doo crew.
We're going
Another
to
thing,
find a
like,
little...
They would have got away with it. It was the
Anytime-
meddling kids.
anytime we were about to have almost a cool scene, they cut away to with a dumb, annoying character doing something dumb and annoying.
Yep.
Anytime I was almost about to start enjoying myself, we got to cut away to see what this dumbass is up to.
What's a real Godzilla movie?
Real Godzilla movie would be the black and white movie made in 1954. Yes, the effects are horribly outdated, comically outdated.
It was 1954.
Exactly. But I'm just saying, when people will look at it and go, oh, this is so silly. Look at that rubber suit. It's like, okay, you ask me to turn off my brain to enjoy these movies. Now I ask you to turn on your brain, use a little fucking imagination, imagine how this is supposed to look, and apply the rest of this incredibly written movie to that imagination.
Hell yeah.
Where this thing is a haunting allegory for the nuclear bomb, which is why he was made to look like a blackened radiation burn victim.
Yep.
Which is why there were thousands of corpses in his wake.
Yep.
And not just the ones that got burned or crushed, the ones that got radiation sickness.
That was another thing I was thinking when Godzilla blasted a hole down to Hollow Earth, and all the people were down there at the bottom of his atomic breath. Like, you guys all instantly have cancer.
The whole idea behind the Hollow Earth thing, but by the way, he blasted through a Hollow Earth. Big deal. He blasted through an empty eggshell. Cool.
Isn't it funny how it stopped when it hit the ground in the Hollow Earth instead of keep going?
Sure is. It's funny. They talk about how they try to set up the idea that all these giant monsters got that way by feeding off the radiation off the center of the Earth.
Yep.
And all these people are down there like you're all
Without radiation suits.
You're all dead. And every human in these movies should be deaf.
Oh yeah,
because every single scene for some reason they need at least one character on the ground with no hearing protection at point blank range of one of these roars that should logically make their head explode.
Yeah.
Never mind just rupture their eardrums.
If
Everyone
you're
should
underwater,
be deaf.
a sperm whale, its clicks can give you a concussion.
See, like
They're that strong.
The Godzilla movie, some of these things that you're touching on. See, I would watch that Godzilla movie. I think I'm just so tired of I've lost track of how many times they've tried to do Godzilla in the
They've
past.
tried to reinvent
10, 20 years, and it's basically garbage every time. But like, you're talking about a monster roaring and the heads exploding, people getting radiation from poison and dying
from being half a
too
mile away.
close. Mm-hmm. It would be kind of cool to see like a hard R movie where it's basically just a wandering monster and a couple people who like figure out how to survive and like go make Godzilla hide somewhere that they're not going to be or something.
Yeah, it needs to take place in a time period where conventional weaponry could conceivably not be able to kill this thing.
Reboot.
And they need to figure out something unorthodox and treat Godzilla like the flash of a nuclear bomb. If you can see the flash, you're dead. If you can see Godzilla, if you're close enough to see him, you're dead.
So I know one of the big questions everyone is having is
why do so many people like it? That's my question.
That too.
That I understand. That
one of the big questions that people have is, where does the light source come from in Hollow Earth?
Oh yeah, it was like a beautiful summer day.
Beautiful summer day. The big question I have: who made the throne room?
Another
monkeys.
Monkeys were making throne rooms and the steps.
Yeah,
I would assume.
Did you see the King Kong first found the axe? It was buried in the skull of potentially an older Godzilla.
Sure.
Much larger than the Godzilla we see.
Yeah.
Much, much, much larger. We know that King Kong is pretty young.
Sure.
We also know that Godzilla is probably pretty ancient.
Mm-hmm.
So is King Kong going to keep growing?
Why not?
I don't know.
They said the habitat's getting too small for him. The one that they were keeping him in, the Hunger Games habitat.
Yeah.
Yep. So that thing that they're able to
the
build.
Truman Show.
But
the Truman Show one, yeah.
They don't know how to take out a giant lizard.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Yep.
Also, was any of that sign language real?
I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know.
Okay.
So the other differences between Kong and Godzilla, besides the age, is that Kong is obviously a social species with intelligence. We're discovering because he can speak sign language, knows how to reset
Godzilla can
a dislocated shoulder,
Yeah.
whatever.
Can square up.
Yep, he can square up.
Mhm.
You know, he's got good posture.
He can wield an axe,
Wield an axe. Yep.
throw a spear.
Yep. Probably obviously build an axe too.
Yeah.
But Godzilla is kind of solitary,
Sure.
or is solitary. I know he had a bond with Mothra.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I have a bond with moths too.
Sure.
You sure do.
You do.
Yeah.
Jay, you should get a Mothra tattoo.
No.
Anyone know anything about the director?
No.
Nope.
I did a little bit, not too much looking into him, but Adam Wingard.
What do you do?
Death Note,
Oh, the
the
anime?
Netflix, the live action. Yeah, exactly. He did Blair Witch Part 2,
Ooh.
Yeah. and his upcoming features he's doing Face Off Part 2
Oh.
and live action Thundercats.
Wow.
So, no offense to the guy, but kind of unremarkable.
Can
I want to
bring
know
up-
about live action Thundercats, man.
Do you though?
Tune in next time.
He wants to see some Chitara.
Some snarf.
Snarf, snarf.
Chitara.
Funny note about writing.
Hmm.
So you remember that travesty of a Godzilla movie from TriStar in 1998?
Yeah, the Matthew Broderick one.
Yep.
With the iguana.
So that
So that's when they turned him into a dinosaur. They said
Yeah,
Iguana.
Godzilla's not a kaiju, he's a dinosaur.
he was an iguana.
All right.
Wasn't there like little Godzillas running around?
There
in that
sure
one?
were
Little
because
iguanas, yeah.
because Velociraptors from Jurassic Park were the big thing, and we got to put Velociraptors in this movie
Why would you do that?
because that movie was a last minute rewrite.
Oh.
Yep, there was before they brought in Roland Emmerich. Did I write down the first director's name? Probably not. I did not. But they had another director in place. He walked off the set for whatever reason. They brought in Roland Emmerich, and they tossed out the original script, redesigned Godzilla on the spot, probably why he looked so terrible too.
Mhm.
And we all saw what happened there. That movie was so bad that Toho, the Japanese company that owns Godzilla, they were planning on taking a 10-year break between Godzilla movies, starting in 95 when they released Godzilla vs. Destroyer, where Godzilla died.
Mhm.
And spoilers. And the plan was to treat it like the jump between the 70s and 80s, where they'd take a 10-year break and then reintroduce Godzilla as, a force of nature / anti-hero.
Mhm.
But the TriStar movie was so bad that they jumped ahead of schedule, and instead of waiting for 2005 to start over, they started again in like 99, 2000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just decanonize it. It's not a Godzilla movie. It was a dinosaur movie.
Did you guys see Shin Godzilla?
No,
Did. I liked it.
I never saw it.
Was that an animated one or?
No.
Oh, I don't recall. When did this come out?
3 years? 3 years
Something
ago,
like
maybe?
that. 2 or 3 years
Is
ago.
it a foreign film?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
good?
it's much closer to what I wanted out of a Godzilla movie.
It's still got a little bit of a cringy human motive, but
Well, it's
really
it's a
different
very
retelling of the Godzilla we know.
it's a very on the nose assessment on how the Japanese government kind of stumbles over themselves when handling natural disasters. This is right after the
Fukushima.
Fukushima incident.
Yeah.
And it's actually hilarious at certain points where you just spend 5 minutes going from different locations just for people to say, should we do it? Let me call this guy. Should we do it? Let me call this guy. Should we do it? Should we? Yes.
Yeah. And you have the
Go
one
back to that
young
guy.
politician
Yes. Back to
that's
that guy.
always
Yes.
right, but no one listens to him constantly. And like I said, that was like the cheesy part for me. Is like always like, no, we need to take action now. We don't have time. This is the way it's always been done, though. So we're going to keep doing it.
But in this one, Godzilla was more of an eldritch kind of creation,
oh really?
very Lovecraftian, where parts of them fall off. They'll slowly start growing eyes, and you
Why
got
haven't we
to
talked about this movie?
Yeah, that sounds cool.
I'll watch it.
We should.
This MonsterVerse is kind of having a DC moment right now,
Mhm.
where remember when Man of Steel came out, everyone was very hyped up. The trailers made it look awesome. Roughly half the audience walked out feeling a little disappointed.
Yeah.
And then by the time all the other DC movies came out, start to be like, yeah, looking back, Man of Steel wasn't that bad by comparison. I feel like that's what's happening now with 2014. Godzilla had this incredible advertising campaign where they were advertising that horror movie that we were talking about.
Yep. And then
And
Godzilla
then-
was barely in it.
And then it wasn't about Godzilla at any point.
Should have been called Mudo.
It should have been called Mudo, and Godzilla shows up and saves the day because balance or something.
Mhm.
You gotta have balance.
But then looking at King of the Monsters and Godzilla versus Kong, since then, like, if I had to watch one of them again, I'd still watch that one.
I enjoyed the 4 hours of Snyder Cut.
Immensely.
I enjoyed about 3.5 hours of it.
What didn't you like? Oh, you didn't like the
Everything after the end of the final battle, I feel like could have been left out entirely.
Can you guys tell me who Martian Manhunter is?
He's from Mars.
I get that part. All right. So, I mean, I talked to...
He's the vision of that universe. He's the moral center who's, by not being human, is above human corruption. So he's the moral center of the Justice League.
Okay. And on a strength level from...
he's up there.
He's vision. He can phase through things. He can read minds.
Also incredibly strong.
Mhm.
Okay. And he can fly, obviously.
Mhm.
Yep.
And shapeshift.
Yep.
All right.
I thought that whole Themyscira sequence was flawless.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely flawless.
I like how she had to sacrifice all the Amazonians in the temple.
Yeah.
As opposed to the theatrical cut where just the door slams shut.
Yeah, that'll stop them.
Do they indicate in the original movie how those boxes woke up? Like they did
In the original movie, no.
So it made sense. Snyder Cut. It was Superman dying.
It was
That
Superman
woke
dying. So
The boxes up. That's fucking.
There's still
Cyborg's
that's
dad
deep.
woke up one of the boxes and like artificially woke up one of the boxes, and the thing just like claimed as like, nope, Kryptonian. Fuck that. We're staying right here.
They've
And then
implied that they've run into Kryptonians before, and they know Kryptonians are a problem.
Okay.
I say I like the comparison you and I made, Mikey, where like they're the Asgardians of the DC universe.
Yes.
Oh,
At least in the
I dig
Snyder,
it.
at least in the Snyderverse.
I dig it. How we doing with our beers, guys?
Finished.
We're coming up on our half hour, and it's about time for our second beer
Mm.
and for our second segment.
Yeah, so if you are listening and you haven't seen Godzilla vs. Kong, my recommendation would be to not bother.
I will give this movie 2 crushed beer cans for Monster Jiu-Jitsu.
As someone who still believes that a great Godzilla movie can be made, they don't have to be big and dumb. There can be a well done, smart movie made with this. That being said, if you enjoyed the Godzilla movies from the Showa era, which were the fun, hokey ones where you'd see Godzilla doing a victory dance, or he does a flying kick, or he just straight up flies by using his
I just remembered
using
Godzuki.
his breath.
Remember he used to blow
Yes.
like smoke rings?
Yes.
So if you enjoyed those movies, go see Godzilla versus Kong. You will enjoy it because that you are the audience that these movies are being made for now. I respect you. Fuck you, but I respect you.
I'm going to give it 2.5. I'm going to give it 2.5 because I really respect the hell out of those animators and they
Okay.
deserve some cred.
All right.
On a final note, though, did you know that gorillas can't swim?
They sure
Yes.
can't, Mike.
They sure can.
So again, going back to my point of
have it, Kev.
suspension of
Let 'em have it.
disbelief,
Sick 'em.
only going so far. They started the fight underwater with a big gorilla that's not supposed to be able to swim against a giant lizard that has gills.
Yep.
And he got out of that twice.
Yep.
He got out of that situation twice. Like, no.
That doesn't make any sense.
Again, just suspension of disbelief. Fine. Within the context of that universe.
Yeah.
All right, let's get our second beer.
Yep.
Stop talking about your lizard monkeys.
Pet the bunny.
What is your major malfunction, boy? Because I love animals. All right, we're back. We got our beer, and now it's time for...
And now for something completely different.
This one sounds really, really nice. Can we open this?
Yeah,
Yes,
what's
so,
the second beer,
Hold on.
Kev?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
We're going to be drinking a guava IPA. This one is going to be a mystery because they did not have any on tap the night I went. But we're looking at a 6.2
And go.
I'm behind. Wait.
with guava, citrus, and hops.
I've been so into juicy IPAs lately, so I am ready for this. Oh, it's
Got a nice haze.
surprisingly, yeah, like hazy, not too like thick and juicy like I expected.
Bet it's going to have guava.
Oh, smells amazing.
Right.
Oh, I love IPA. I don't
please
care what
test
anybody
good.
says. I keep thinking I should like love something else because people are like, oh, you drink this IPA. Fuck you. I love IPA.
No.
It's my
Do what
favorite.
I want.
I do what I want.
Holy shit, that's a lot of guava. That's awesome.
That is tropical as fuck.
Oh, dude.
Huh.
It's the spot.
Yep.
That's good.
That's some good pool beer.
Yeah, it's got a really nice, I want to say dry flavor, but that's not bad at all. It's got this nice, like, I don't know, it's got this nice long kind of dry flavor to it. It's hard to describe.
It's a mouthfeel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does this have the mosaic? Do we say mosaic?
Yeah, it does. It says it right on the front. Man, this one is excellent.
That is really good.
Yeah.
That is, there's something there that I'm not.
It's the mosaic hops. It's that mouthy cloud. So remember
Okay.
the cloud candy?
Yeah.
That was heavy in mosaic, and it just
No shit.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about.
I like it.
This is real nice.
Mhm.
This is really nice.
So this one is literally called guava IPA. It's not
I
just
do feel
a
like I'm
guava.
drinking juice,
Whose idea was it to pull out these glasses?
Jay.
That
Nice
would be
call, Jay. So we got
Yes.
these nice, what do you call these?
Tulips.
Tulips. So
Bulb.
you guys
whatever.
probably already know, and I'm sure a lot of our, but anyways, these are like designed to help you smell the beer as you sip it.
Yeah.
This is just brilliant. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
This is the kind of beer that just makes me happy. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to sit here and just enjoy the shit out of this beer because this is what I like.
Hell
Juicy, dry, hoppy, amazing.
So, Batson River, if you're listening, the guava needs to be on tap.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Constantly.
You ain't kidding. And like the fruity IPAs, I feel like are kind of new to me. Like I'm just starting to explore that like on purpose.
I got to rate this beer on Untapped. I like it that much.
Oh man, it's really good.
Yeah.
Nice body to it. Great flavor. 6.2%. So it's not like,
I'm gonna
you
give
know,
that
that's not too heavy. That's a respectable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
mid-
about
mid-
right for a good
mid-range
IPA.
number. Oops. This just woke me right up.
Fantastic. Good, because we're going to do our music segment.
And here we go.
So, once again, each of us sent the other an album for the purpose of review. This week, we're starting off with Mikey. As we
Me?
go around the horn, we're starting off with Mikey.
Okay.
Started off with Kev
Yep,
last time. Kevin's the anchor this time. Mikey's the point man.
All right.
We should take this in consideration moving forward. If you know that you're going to be the point man or the anchor,
I knew I was the anchor. I just misunderstood what
Say it
anchor
again,
meant.
but slower.
Write
No.
it down with a crayon.
rewind it later.
Make the R backwards so we don't get confused.
So, Mikey, what album did you pick, Mike, that we
Exodus.
listened to? Exodus by
Bob
Mr.
Marley and the Wailers.
Let me get my little book for my notes.
Yep.
And why did we pick Exodus?
I'm trying to stick with the theme of picking culturally important and or influential music.
I love this.
All right. And this one definitely belongs in that category. So
Oh, yeah.
Bob Marley, obviously we know Bob Marley for his reggae, his laid back attitude, but this album came out in 1977.
Is this before or after he was shot?
This was after.
Mm.
Okay. He was shot on December 3rd, 1976, 2 days before the Smile Jamaica concert where he was supposed to play one song.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you guys know the story behind the assassination, but there was a far left and a far right party
Yeah.
in Jamaica. And it was a tumultuous time. It was a heated election. There was, politics. And Marley was seen as supporting the Democratic Socialist Party, the People's National Party, versus the right side, which was the Jamaican Labor Party. The assassination attempt was on December 3rd.
Yeah.
We don't know who tried to assassinate him, though.
Sure.
Okay, so it could have been the People's National Party trying to turn him into a martyr. It could have been the Jamaican Labor Party trying to stop him from supporting because he did have a lot of sway. He was, Jamaica's son. Or it could have been the CIA because the CIA really didn't like politically progressive music. After the attempt, he played the concert.
Hell yeah, he played the concert.
And instead of playing one song, he played 90 minutes.
Dude.
He was shot twice, and he played a 90-minute concert 2 days
Hell yeah,
after.
he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had to leave Jamaica for fear of his life. He went to England, I think. And the 1977 album, Exodus, was his response to an assassination attempt, to his friends, his wife, and himself being shot. And it's an album that just preaches love, togetherness, light politics, sex. I love how powerful that statement is.
Yep.
You know, especially when the song I picked. Go ahead and play the clip.
Sure. So this is Mikey's clip for
Punky Reggae Party.
Punky Reggae Party from Exodus.
It takes a joyful sound to make the world go round. Come with your heart and soul. Come and rock your bones. It's a funky reggae party.
So this song was not on the original Exodus album. It was added later to a deluxe edition. But this song was recorded in 1977. It's blues, it's funk, it's reggae, it's rock, it's soul.
Yeah. Bob always brings me back to the early 90s, hanging with my friends, you know.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah.
Smoking stuff after school.
Yep.
I mean, I loved this stuff, you know.
It is good pot smoking music, but it's more than just pot smoking music, folks.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
there's
so much
there's
more.
a vibe.
This guy had a story.
This is
big
house
time.
cleaning music too.
It really is.
It really
is house
is.
cleaning music.
One more thing though, when the people who tried to assassinate Bob Marley were caught and tried and executed,
Yeah.
one of the guys, he did confess that it was the CIA. They paid us with coke and guns,
Wow.
but that was his confession. Yep.
So I'm someone who's, all truth be told, never really been into reggae, and not for lack of trying. Sometimes I think, you know, one of the best things about talking about music is hearing a perspective on the music itself, or like Mikey just showed us, the history behind it and the story behind it. And that just totally adds a whole new level of badassness and realness, frankly. For me, that allowed me to kind of listen to this record and take it in with a different set of feelings than, you know, just putting reggae on.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, is one of the best things about talking about music. So officially now, Exodus by Bob Marley is my favorite reggae record.
Absolutely.
You know,
I mean, the guy-
you know, as
One
someone
Love
who
was on this
you
album.
know,
Three Little Birds was on this album. That's how you respond to getting fucking shot twice and your wife getting shot in the head.
yeah, it's amazing.
The
That's
guy,
your response?
the guy got shot multiple times, puts on a 90-minute concert about peace and love. That's metal as fuck.
That's strength.
It really
That's
is.
strength beyond
Totally.
strength. Yeah, no question about it. There's no question about that man's human strength. I'll forever think about him differently. And to be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed that I didn't know this already, that whole story, because I read just a couple of books on rock and roll history, and I don't really remember much being in there about Bob
shit.
Marley, unfortunately. Yeah.
No shame.
He's kind of important.
Powerful album. Powerful
Very.
message. Like, really gives me a lot of feels when I
Yep.
hear it and I think about his life at the time and everything he was going through.
Excellent choice. Excellent choice, Mikey.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Baru, you chose to bring me back to 2000.
Was it 2000? I think this one actually came
It was
out.
1998. I heard it in 2000.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So tell us about your choice for.
So I chose an album by the band called Cryptopsy. If you're into metal, you have definitely heard this name before, and definitely heard this band. They're one of the more prominent death metal acts. They've
Insane
put out,
drumming.
yeah, I mean,
Probably one of the best percussionists I've ever heard.
so that's really a huge thing for this band. There's only one Flo Mounier. That's the drummer's name. These guys are from Canada, I believe. I want to say Quebec. No. I don't know, Quebec or Montreal. I'm sorry, guys. I can't remember which. Enormous, ridiculous influence on me as a drummer growing up. Back in the day, I remember when this album came out, I was waiting very impatiently for new Cryptopsy because I was a huge, huge fan of None So Vile. Still am to this day.
I was going to say, I'm really surprised you didn't pick None So Vile if you were going to pick a Cryptopsy album.
Truth be told, I picked this one to talk about the frontman. If you know the band, or if you don't, whatever, None So Vile is still considered in many circles to be a classic of sorts. It blended a few different styles, and it had a certain feel to it that other death metal didn't have. Whereas a lot of technical death metal, especially back in the 90s, was good. You know, it was rigid. You know, it was square and very metronome. It was very blocky. These guys were loose. There was an element
bouncy.
of it was bouncy. It was very grindy. I mean, Flo's blast beats are so fast.
very moshy.
Very moshy, especially None So Vile.
I was listening to this.
I think
was
they
ready to
only
get
got
into a
less
fight.
moshy after that record. But I mean, None So Vile is a standout, and there's a reason why people go back to it, and it's still very good. It's hard to recreate that, and I'm glad they never really tried.
Yeah.
But the band has always succeeded in keeping a lot of elements from that album while getting, frankly, more intense and more technical as time goes on. Anyways, back to my point. After None So Vile, Lord Worm, the singer on that album, is gone, and they have a new frontman and a shitload of new ambition. New frontman's name is Mike DeSalvo. He has more of like a hardcore kind of yell to his vocals instead of like the traditional death metal sound. Why don't we go ahead and listen to this clip?
Sure. This is White Worms.
There is only one
What's
direction
this?
to move when you're listening to that song. Like it's like I'm just picturing being on stage and looking out and having the whole place just like
That's exactly how it was.
So good.
you know.
So
Was this before or after Meshuggah?
during
During?
Meshuggah actually started making albums in like '88, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. So when this came out, it was brand new. I was going to shows. I had friends with cars and things. I was pretty young, and we'd get around. We went out to Springfield or maybe West Springfield or something. We used to go to a club called the Infinity. It was about a 2-hour drive from Methuen, and we saw Cryptopsy and Nile play there together twice, I believe. So this album was brand new, and we went out to see them, and I was just floored. I was just floored, blown away, and I'm just like, it was one of these like, this is what I must do type moments.
Yeah.
And Mike DeSalvo, who's originally from Boston, I believe.
No shit.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it added this whole kind of like new street vibe to the band that I really loved. I think there was another one by the band Satyricon called Rebel Extravaganza that was really unique. I want to say that came out in 99 or 2000, but that was, unrelated, but it's a band from Norway, highly influential black metal band, came out with this album that was just so street. Like there's pictures of them in like an alleyway, with like their corpse paint, and like it had like all types of electronic samples and like really, really raw guitar tone and stuff. Anyway, so like, it's something that I think extreme metal doesn't do enough, frankly, is kind of add like this like street attitude to the whole package. So anyways, I thought it was really cool. Like the band photo has like an Umbro shirt and like Adidas like jogging pants. Like they just stand on street corners, hit up old ladies for change. But anyway, it was cool. They played with like Converge and stuff. And, Mike would always get up on stage. And I remember him saying this numerous times. And I thought it was just perfect. And people needed to hear it and understand it back then, which is like, look, we're all here having a good time. Metal and hardcore go together. We are one. Okay, we're on the same playing field, and we're going to hang out, and we're going to bust up the stage together, motherfuckers. You all better fucking show some respect.
Especially the way Cryptopsy does it. Absolutely.
Yeah, are you kidding? Yeah, so I mean, I actually went back and read some reviews on this one, and people were really mixed up about loving it and hating it. I think that one of the things I love about this one is the kind of youthful energy. There's an overflowing intensity to the playing. There are parts of the record that kind of fall apart with speed and noise, and I love it. It's just like we don't know what to do. They're going so fast and so intense. I imagine them like falling over with like adrenaline because it's just like, oh my god, what did we just do?
I noticed that on a few songs. It's like because I this was a re-listen for me. It's been a hot minute, and like I'm listening to some of the tone. I'm like, this is static. But if you turn it up all the way,
right.
It comes more defined.
I listened to it.
You
on
can't
like,
listen to it
Organized chaos.
Yeah, you can't listen to this at a low volume. You got to crank it. It's for certain songs anyway.
I love that, Jay, because and that's true for a lot of these dense blast beating records. It's not just stuff you put on while you're dusting your bookshelves and shit.
No.
Like you got to turn it up and like pay attention.
I mean, you do some aggressive bookshelf dusting.
Sure,
But this was
Bookshelf demolishing.
This was an amazing listen. This was for me. It was a very. I enjoyed the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I picked it. I was pretty sure we all liked it. I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to Mike. He's a beer connoisseur as well.
No shit.
And we kind of started interacting a little bit on Facebook. So if you're listening, what's up, Mike? Thanks for being awesome.
Hey,
and
thank you.
hope you like the
Mike.
show. Yeah, so he was on this album and the one after it, and then You'll Beg, which was definitely sharper, just as fast and aggressive, but sharper. And then the band had a long, troubled time after that and have come around full force. And I listened to all of their albums since 2012, and they all rip. Flo is still the best in the game. And basically the whole band is new. They have a new singer, bassist, and guitarist. And I've seen that lineup play live, and they are fucking unstoppable. So, yeah, one of my favorite bands, despite the trouble they had at a certain point in their career that we shouldn't get into.
Sure.
Roger that.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And if you're listening and you never heard Cryptopsy and you're a drummer, then shame on you.
Yeah, you know, you need this
get
in
on
your
it
life.
now. He's really kind of one of the guys that I think probably a lot of drummers, measure themselves to or should. His creativity and his just natural ability is just unmatched, really, in my opinion.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got, really. I mean, I could
right.
keep going, but
No.
we got 2 more albums to do.
Yes, we do. So we'll get to me then, and we'll slow it down.
I can't wait to
little
hear
bit.
what clip you picked.
All right. Well,
I love this, by the
Well,
way.
hang on.
I
It is
love-
not nearly smoky enough in here to move on to Jay's album.
yeah. Let's get it a
Start doing
bit
some
more
aggressive
smoky.
puffing.
Let me get some whiskey out here. So I chose Tom Waits' Blood Money, but literally I could have chose any Tom Waits album.
This
It
was
would
a
be
good
the
one,
same.
though. I just want to say real quick because I was laughing listening to this because on this whole album, he's doing your impersonation of Tom Waits. And it's fucking glorious. It's fucking glorious. I've loved Tom Waits for years and years now, and he has so many albums, and I've only heard a good handful of them, maybe 2 handfuls.
Sure.
And I don't think I ever really listened to this one, but boy, did I have a good time listening to this one.
I'm just
Tom Waits.
picturing Rolf from the Muppets on
Yes.
like a real downward spiral.
That's funny you say that because when I listened to this album, I also pictured Muppets like in a gulag in like the worst bar in the gulag, and it's just full of assassins and creeps and workers.
Yes. Tom Waits for me has always been, if you want to sing like Tom Waits, you need to smoke 2 packs of Marlboros and drink a 5th of whiskey in
Razor
about
blades for breakfast.
10 minutes.
And eat a cigar.
And there you go. You got yourself Tom Waits' voice. So I'm just going to dive right into my clip here, and then we can chat about some Tom Waits here. So this is God's Away on Business.
Yes.
Lame, the blind. Who were the ones that we kept in charge? Killers, thieves, and warriors. God's away, God's away, God's away on business, business.
Oh, so good, man.
So good.
Fucking love this guy. So I chose Tom Waits because he's so fringe.
He's
so on the
fringe and
fringe.
entertaining and easy to listen to.
Yeah. I mean, you do have to be in a mood. This isn't something that you would.
Oh, this will
clean
put you in the mood.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You're not cleaning your house to Tom Waits. You're not headbanging to Tom Waits. But when you put on Tom Waits, you do get in a mood. Candles are lit, and
Drugs are consumed.
drugs are consumed, and drinks are drank.
No, you're pushing the cockroaches off your bed and
Exactly.
reading next to the neon light that's coming in from across the street.
Flickering.
Yep. It is such a vibing feel, and really, you can pick up any record and listen to Tom Waits and get into that feel.
When I put Tom Waits on, I want to throw all the furniture out of my house and sleep on the floor.
Exactly. This house
He's
is too
the
clean.
musical equivalent of Charles Bukowski.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I love it, but it really any record is fine. Blood Money, I picked out random. I love all of his stuff. It's not something that's on constant autoplay, but when it's on, baby, it's on. So that's all I got with Tom Waits. But did you guys literally listen to it, the whole thing?
Often.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you kidding?
Often.
You liked it?
Oh, I
All right.
listened to it. Yeah. And I was literally ear to ear smile the whole time driving in my truck.
There's the reason around the world.
That's a good one.
That's a really good one. Yeah. Do you guys remember Ballad of Buster Scruggs? Tom Waits was
Oh,
the
yeah.
prospector.
He's an amazing actor.
He is.
That was incredible. That was my favorite skit.
Yep.
No
Easily.
doubt.
Yeah.
Easily.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Very, very good stuff.
He was also in Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes, he was.
Who was he?
He was the insane guy. Who was Jonathan Harker? Who was he replacing? Renfield?
Yeah.
He played Renfield.
Okay.
Master!
Oh.
I've got to fly, Master!
Yes.
Or whatever he's...
He just wandered on set and ate a fly.
Well, shit, now I have to keep this in, dude.
I'll shorten it, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Let's get on to Kevin's choice. The anchor. The man.
All right.
I gotta say, good picks this week,
Yeah, right.
guys. Good picks.
So
Kev?
I went with the 1986 Iron Maiden album, Somewhere in Time.
Yeah.
Which is
Sure did.
not my favorite Iron Maiden album, but I recognize it as perhaps the most important Iron Maiden album, certainly one of the most important albums in metal altogether.
It is.
Highly influential.
That
Is it? I don't know. I don't know. You might. I don't. I honestly don't know. My general consensus is that it's not most Iron Maiden fans' favorite album, but it is my favorite
it's
for sure. Mostly because of the sci-fi aesthetic. But go ahead. Sorry.
it's more of the genres that were inspired by Iron Maiden as a whole. And I
The
feel
formula
like
too.
yeah, I feel like I branched off into the, more power metal side
okay.
of metal.
Sure.
You get into stuff like Hammerfall, Blind Guardian.
Yes.
Um,
You love those bands.
I do.
That's awesome.
I do. And
I like those bands.
May I please say something?
you may.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
to lose
I'm
the
sorry
fucking
to interrupt.
attitude, okay?
All right. I'm going to lose the attitude right now. I'm going to explain something to you guys.
Explain.
I'm going to lay down some education. There are two bands that I don't like that I have no rational explanation why I don't like them. One of them is Rush, and the other is Iron Maiden.
I absolutely, completely appreciate what you're saying because I have a very, very, very similar problem
Let me go a
with
little
many
bit.
bands.
let me go a little bit further. I will go so far to say that they are in fact the same band in my brain.
Oh God,
Hold on, I'll explain.
This just got weird.
Keep
All
going.
right.
I
I think
this.
Geddy and Eddie are the same thing. All right. So
What? Are you on acid?
a little bit. No.
Are you about to do a thing? Do we need to play the clip?
Can you share? Can you share some?
No.
Because I want Eddie and Getty to be the same person. That sounds
I
amazing.
think Eddie is Geddy dead. If you just remove Geddy's skin, you have Eddie.
I'm thinking Getty is the blue pill and Eddie is the red pill.
No. Here's the thing. Listen, just really, really
Give
quick,
me both
and I'm
pills.
going to pass it. I'm going to pass the mic back. All right. Listen,
I'm gonna let you finish.
I'm going to let you finish if you just let me say this. I appreciate the musical genius and influence that both these bands that I can't explain why I don't like had. That they have these fans that are fucking insane. I just,
Listen, it's okay. You don't
don't
like
get
Iron
it.
Maiden. It's all right. It's all right. Like I don't.
but I can't tell you why. I can't be like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Is it a
this, the
secret or you
vocals.
don't know?
Listen,
I literally don't know.
Vir-
I just don't get it.
virtually every black metal musician who I've heard spout off like their earliest influences usually cites AC/DC, and that goes for millions and millions of other fans, including so many 50-somethings in our own area who just blindly worshipped. I fucking hate AC/DC, and I can tell you exactly why, but that's not the AC/DC show.
They got a couple of catchy tunes, but
Sure.
I hate the band.
I
Sure.
feel like you've heard one AC/DC song,
I
you've heard them all.
just get so annoyed, and I think it's part of the fans' fault too. But whatever, I don't want to get into it. I just don't like it. I don't like it, and honestly, if you listen to hundreds of bands like we do, you're allowed to just not like something. You're just like, okay, fine.
Yeah, but
don't
I
like
want
it.
a reason why.
Sure,
I
sure.
know why.
Well, let's
Their haircuts, the denim,
Oh,
the
no. Ain't it? I'm a very open-minded individual.
let's
that ain't it. But can we play?
let's play this clip
Let's
before
play
we
the
go
clip.
too far.
Let's play.
Speaking of inspiration, I chose a clip from the song "Sea of Madness." Pantera fans, tell me if this sounds familiar. Agony is the price that you pay in the end.
No,
No?
no.
No,
You don't hear
I
domination there?
definitely see similar, that kind of galloping riff. I definitely see the similarities.
I'm sorry, guys, but that's a stretch. That's my position on that.
It makes more sense when you hear it from the intro. I just
I
wanted
know what riff you're talking about.
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
I just wanted to include some of the vocals.
Sure. Well, this is more gallopy than the Pent. Anyways,
Obviously, that's their thing. That's,
I think
it's
Domination was the better song, but moving on.
it's different. Yeah.
So somewhere in time, this was the first album that Iron Maiden used synthesized guitars.
Synthesizer. When I was in my my mid 20s, this was one of those old school bands that was, kind of before my time. Then I was like, all right, I gotta see what's up with this band. And I went to a shop in Methuen called Music DNA that's still there.
Oh shit.
And it's a cool shop. Anyways, I bought a few of their tapes. I believe I got Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, this album, and another one. I want to say Killers, but I'm not quite sure. This ended up being the one I gravitated towards. I think I liked the intro and it kept hooking me. And then I loved like the neon kind of cyberpunk feel of the artwork and the lyrics that go with it, like the Blade Runner-esque type feeling that this album had. That really jived with me. So this pretty much instantly became my favorite Iron Maiden record when I was going through. And it was such
doom. Peppy doom.
Yeah, really, yeah. And it was such a pleasant surprise to me to go and just dive into Iron Maiden, because aside from a few songs on the radio, I hadn't really heard them or knew like what they were all about. And I was like, wow, this is like it's not super complicated. It's just very precise, very good, very creative, very, very classically oriented. Just, I don't know, just really good. Iron Maiden is one of those classic metal bands that's just there's nothing but pleasure to listen to.
We should let Kev talk about his band.
Oops.
He has way more to say on Iron Maiden than I do, so this is working for me.
Yeah, right.
Going back to what I was saying earlier, though, I appreciate Iron Maiden more for the bands they inspired than for Iron Maiden itself.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that.
Yeah. Like I respect Iron Maiden in the sense that like I understand all the music that would not exist had they not come around.
Totally get that too.
Lead singer from Opeth cited Iron Maiden as one of his major, his most important influences.
Just like Iron Maiden wouldn't have come around if not for Sabbath, Zeppelin, Cooper, that kind of thing.
Yes, and those bass riffs are fucking exhausting.
Yeah,
listening to it, like my forearms hurt. Just listening to those bass riffs, I'm like breaking a sweat. Like,
you can
stop.
picture
a break.
Calluses flying off.
I totally recognize the talent. I totally recognize
I get it.
The influence.
I went through the same thing the other week when we talked about Violent Femmes.
There we go.
Like I get it. It's just,
do you not like American music?
We're gonna do this.
There's always going to be some that just don't resonate with you for whatever reason, and that's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
Some people can taste the spice. Some people can.
Oh, I had this thought on the way here.
Oh, Jesus.
Remember, I was thinking about the sci-fi backdrop to Somewhere in Time, and I'm like, why was one of these songs not in that Dune trailer? Because Dune's coming out this year, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, why didn't they use Iron Maiden instead of that stupid fucking Pink Floyd cover that made me want to puke?
Feel like I feel like Pink Floyd's one of those bands you just don't need to cover. They got it right the first
That's what I mean. Original Pink Floyd, totally cool.
Yeah.
This digital cover that they put on Dune, I
think Korn did a good cover of The Wall.
Korn did a good cover of The Wall. Good call, Mikey.
I just puked a little bit in my
mouth. Sounds good. I like the way they. I kind of like the way Korn's bass sounds.
Sure, I understand.
It was unique.
I like Korn's first record. At least I did.
The introduction of bagpipes into their music.
As far as I'll go.
Do you guys remember on CDs when it was like a real funny joke to put a song fucking at song 99?
Yeah, I sure do.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. It was stupid then. It's even more irrelevant now.
Yep.
I thought it was pretty cool, but whatever, man.
Didn't Tool do that a bunch of times?
Yes.
Yeah.
White Zombie did too.
Yep. White Zombie did it.
It was like, hey, let's put a thicker song, guys.
Kev, you got any more of those guavas?
Those
I know, right?
All of them, unfortunately. Is it
shit.
time for round 3?
I think so. I think we're going to get into a round 3 today.
All right.
All right. Well, in that case, we will push pause here.
Giraffe Bastards Unfiltered.
And we're back. And
Once
we're back.
was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a belly of tea.
That was
The wind
fun.
blew up her bow, the down below my billy boys blow. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tugging is done, we'll take our leave and go.
I wish I knew the lyrics. I needed it on the screen.
Mike, when you made that noise, all I'm thinking of are the mystics from the Dark Crystal. And then you have that comes in. That one guy.
Yeah.
Shut up, Ted.
Kevin.
Yeah, he was a Kevin. he was a Kevin.
The fuck is Kevin doing here?
By the way, no, things didn't get weird. This is how things usually are.
Yeah.
The weird part is us trying to behave when the mics are on.
Yeah.
Right. It's very easy for these guys. It's very hard for me.
I once had a lass with a cunny wide.
You'd marvel at the things you'd find inside.
4 wedding wings and a mouse so far.
A full case of beer and a Cuban cigar.
Tumble all around with me, hey, 90 ho.
And I'll follow that lass wherever she'll go.
Nice job, whatever the hell that was. What was that? Some shanty thing?
Yep.
What happens? You guys have like 3 sips of a stout and start doing shanties?
You don't?
What are we going to do next?
Sounds like you're a sip of stout behind.
Maybe I am. Hold on.
Don't get him started.
Now dance, motherfucker, dance!
Now the pony ship the diamond. No.
All right. Well, I encourage all of you to check out Batson River Brewing in Kennebunk, Maine, or check out what's on tap at batsonriver.com. And if you enjoy this episode of Draft Bastards, we would certainly appreciate it if you subscribed. You can visit us at draftbastards.podbean.com and on Facebook and Instagram at draftbastards, all one word. Drop us a like and say hey, and as always, please support your local brewery.
Whack for the diddle-diddle-eyed idiot. So you.
White up.